I'm going to do a quick video about these video glasses. I don't know how they're going to work out, but you can't really tell they're video glasses other than, you know, they're pretty thick and juicy, I guess. Here's your USB, micro USB port right there. Let's see if you can see it right there. And then just simply, there's only one button right there. It's on off, and then you can take pictures or you can do video record. There's a little light right here that tells you what it's doing. And on this side there's actually a micro SD card you put right there. It just slips in. Now I figured out you got to be careful. The printing of your card will face towards you while you put it in, and the contacts will be facing inwards when you push it in. But kind of hard to pull out. I think if you got like a fingernail, there is like a little edge on your micro SD card right there. You can pull it out. I'm not going to do that, but you can actually leave it plugged in, and then plug your cord in and tie that into your computer, and that will allow you to access your SD card, micro SD card, without having to pull the card out if you don't want to mess with it. But they're not too bad. I mean, you know, kind of thick and bulky looking. You know, and I got some regular reader glasses I use like that, and I bought some bifocal, stick-on bifocal pieces to put on here, but I just did a video with them and it didn't even bother me. And they're actually pretty clean view. Let me see if you can see through this. You know, it's not a bad view. They got kind of a little blue tint to it. I'm not sure, but there's no magnification to these. I wish you could buy these with the magnified or a bifocal. But anyways, the bifocal is on the bottom there. So I'll probably try to use these more often. And it has audio. So the thing you got to watch out with glasses like these is there are eavesdropping laws. You know, so like if you, like say a locksmith wants to go ahead and use these on one of their jobs, and I'm going to try to use these, and if usually vacant keys, I'll go ahead and do it. But there are situations where you may want to make sure that the person or persons or the people you're working around, that you're not recording anything they're saying or doing. You're better to just give permission. Just say, hey, I'm recording what I'm doing, and if you don't mind, I'll edit out anything that has your face or anything to do with the bidding or anything else. So that's an option you can do. The other option is, you know, don't use them. But I mean, even a body cam, you know, if you're recording with your phone or a GoPro. If you're recording on a job, then you're going to have that problem. So they're not too bad. I mean, they're kind of thick and gawky. And it'd be kind of cool if they had like a little spotlight on here where you can turn that on. But here's how you turn it on. So you go on ahead, and I don't know if it'll pick this up. So you hold that button down, so you see that flashing. And so that's flashing. Well, it's red and blue. Once it goes into blue, then that's in standby mode. And so it'll stay in standby mode for up to a minute, and then it'll automatically shut off. I think this has 5 to 8 hours battery time. But anyway, so if you click it once, you're recording. It'll flicker 3 times. So now I'm recording. And then the light's off. That's what's deceiving, is now the light's off. Sometimes you have to look, know if it's recording or not. So I'll get my finger off the camera. And then if you hit it again, that should turn it off. So now it'll stay blue. And so if you flip it twice, that's a picture. And it just took a picture. And so now I'll do it again. Now it's recording, so it's going to flash 3 times. So I'm recording something. I'm recording whatever I'm looking at over here, which is nothing. And then kind of surprised me. I was sun walking through this a second ago on this hinge doctor thing I was just doing. And so then I'll go on ahead and click one more time. It's no longer recording. Now it's in standby. And you hold it down, and that light will flash. And that means it's turned off. When it goes red and blue, then that means it turns off. So that's it. So that's that. Bob here, loading this lock. Kind of wanted to talk about a subject that causes a lot of controversy. It's usually, you know, everyone, when people say I use WD-40 in my lock, you'll see all the people get upset, blowing up about, you know, WD-40 is not meant for locks. And a lot of people don't understand WD-40 is water displacement, and it's the 40th trial that is where it became the formula it is. And it was for the aerospace industry, from my understanding. I mean, I didn't do a whole deep dive reading on it, but WD-40 for the most part was to displace water in electrical circuits. So it does have a place. And around electronics, yeah, it does. And I'm not exactly sure what the chemical is. I'm sure there's some semblance of a silicone inside it. But I personally, I have many different lubricants I use for different reasons. I use Super Lube for bearings, anything that slides, that needs like more of a higher pressure. So I use Super Lube. This is one. I mean, then you got your number 2 grease. You got your whey oils. You know, uh, it's just the motor oils, the sewing machine oils, all that stuff. For locks, this is a great one. I think this is a great lube. A lot of locksmiths swear by it. It's kind of heavy, I think, in my personal opinion. So then you get into your slick stuff, which Houdini is the maker of slick stuff. The only thing I've had an issue with the slick stuff thing is sometimes the cans don't have enough pressure in them, which I know if you got an air compressor, there's a way to repressurize them, but it's kind of a nuisance. And I get sick and tired of these lids. I wish they would come up with a lid like this for these, so you could eat. The thing with this is you could spray it and it has a stream or a mist, and then you can use a straw, fold that up, and then you got a stream. And I think you can pop this off and put it on when you're the cans, which I save these whenever I buy the WD-40s. I use it for other things. For me, it's like around home. I use on my locks and hardware. Of course, I use my tri-flows and my slick stuff. There's chain and cable lube. It's got its place too. I use that on stuff. It's a heavier lube. It penetrates and it stays, in place. Croil. That's one of my favorites. Aerocroil. But basically, Croil you can buy in a can and just pour it. But that's one of my favorites for a penetrant, because the best penetrating mixture that I think I've ever heard of was acetone 50 mix with automatic transmission fluid 50-50 mix, and they say Croil is up there with that. That acetone transmission fluid 50-50 mix is you put in a little squirt bottle, spray bottle. You just got to stir it up every now and then. That's probably one of the best ones out there that I understand. It penetrates and it lubricates at the same time, so you can break stuff loose. And this isn't meant to be a comprehensive. I'm not going to do any testing on it. There's some tests out there. There's Locksmith Wayne Winton. He did a test quite a few years back, maybe 5-10 years ago, where he tested all of them, but he didn't test. Master Lock has a spray too, which I really like. It's another one of my favorites because it's more like an acetone aerosol with Teflon mixed into it, and it works great, and it doesn't leave a whole lot of residue. Once the acetone evaporates, it's pretty much gone, where slick stuff and Houdini I think leaves still kind of it's not a greasy or oily residue. It's more like to me, what do you call those green penetrants? They're more like biodegradable, a little bit more environmentally safer, but it leaves kind of that kind of a residue, like with citrus. I guess citrus would be what I would say. The residue that I think they leave, kind of like that. Gum out, I use that to clean parts a lot of times. This is another good one, the Z45 penetrating fluid. That's one of my favorites too. That's more of an industrial. So for hinges, I use like Z45. I save the clear stuff. That and the tri-flow for strictly lock cylinders and stuff like that. But LPS, if you ever work with Best Locks, I had the best lock school I had to go to, and they only would recommend LPS lube or penetrant lube for some things, penetrant for the others. But I think the LPS lube is what they use for their cylinders, or maybe it's penetrant, and then they use lube on the door hardware, the door cylinders themselves, as this cylindrical lock sets. Anyways, so that's kind of with that. That's in nickel anti-seize. I use this for anywhere, for hardware that I know needs to come back apart. There's a push-pull side of the locksmithing, where we have, there's sometimes we need a Loctite and sometimes we need a lock release. Give me a second here so I can find my stuff here. And so I have the Loctite sticks. This here is a high strength, and I kind of like these sticks better. See, like my screen's reading. A second here. Okay, make sure I'm still recording here. My screen was gone. So the Loctite quick sticks 268. That's our high strength. You get the blue. It's also good. And I like this because there's not a mess. It's just more like a lipstick kind of thing. I mean, you can even use it to mark a spot for your deadbolt, you know, if you need to align your latch. But anyway, so that's pretty much what I want to talk about on this. Let me see. I don't know how much time I got left on this. I'm going to probably go over the hinge stuff next. And let me see. I got some other stuff here I want to look at. This is a brand, I think I talked about this in the last video. This automatic center punch. I bought this on Amazon. They got so many brands out there. Some of them are really nice. Me personally, I like this hand knob here so I can push. My hands, I've had hand surgery on my wrist right there, my knuckle right there. And so it's easier for me to have an easier way to push. My grip is just weird with these first three fingers here. You know, well, my thumb with it. Yeah, as you get older, you know, and you work with heavy-duty power tools, I mean, with Locksmith, that's mostly impact wrenches and drills. Occasionally, let me come over here. Occasionally, so I got my drills, I got my impact. These are, I can't tell you how much I use this 4.5 inch grinder, battery powered. Those are amazing. And then you got your other tools. This is your oscillating tool. It has all your different bits for if you do plunge cuts, stuff like that. I got a sawzall I keep in the back seat. I think it's behind my thing over there. The only thing I wish is there was a way to hold these bittings and the saw blades in this. I got spots in here somewhere. But yeah, for that kind of thing. But and Milwaukee has theirs, but they also have Diablo. There's Diablo bits out there. I use Milwaukee. I use a lot of Milwaukee stuff. But yeah, anyways, I want to cover that too. It's another one of those. That's for if you're cutting into a jam and there's nails in there, you use this carbide blade. And you can use this for all kinds of stuff. And so that's that. I don't know why I got that in there. Take that out. So, alright, that's all I really wanted to cover in this video. Next will be on the hinge doctors type stuff. Alright, thanks for watching.